Oh, welcome back. Today we're going to connect poetry and drama. We've got negative connotations, neutral connotations, and positive connotations to help us bridge the gap between poetry and drama. Let's take a moment and dive into it. So, to get us started, we're going to be using Raisin in the Sun in the poem that inspired it. And I have two pieces of art that relate to Raisin in the Sun. And we're going to be doing blackout poetry later to really focus in on strong connotations. But let's focus in on these two pieces of art and put our attention there on the left. What seems to catch your eye? Well, for me, I'm going to make this big. For me, it's the Younger's house there in the lower right hand corner. Take a moment to take a look. See that right there? I'm going to isolate it by itself. And I'm going to get just their house by itself. That's an interesting piece of that painting for me, and I wanted to take out the rest to draw attention to it. Now, what I'd like you to do is you switch it over to eraser, and using your memory, if you got a good one, try to find one other part that you might allow to be shown on the screen. What do you think might work well? For me, I want to get the sun. Perhaps you want to do a similar thing. There's my little blackout painting that I made up there. Take a moment to either make your own on the left or to make yours look like mine. Do so now. Same thing for the right. We have our Raisin in the Sun painting here. What do you want to black out and what do you want to leave? Take a moment now, please, and I'd like you to black out what you want to black out and leave in what you want to leave in. Please take the time to do so now. Me, I'm leaving in the watering can, but maybe you're deciding to leave in the plant too. All right? Whatever works best for you, so long as you understand that sometimes you have to get rid of other stuff to isolate the stronger meanings of a work of art. That's what we're doing today. So, we're going to read a poem in a moment, and here are some of the words in that poem. Take a moment, please, and I'd like you to find one negative word, like stink, for instance, and drag your red minus sign over to stink. What's another negative word over here that we could get? Please drag your red minus sign next to another negative connotation. Do so now. Excellent. Yup. Boom. Now, dry, heavy, and explode, all of those can be good or bad, right? Maybe explode might be a little bit more towards the negative side, but dry, we certainly would like our clothes to come out of the dryer dry. Heavy, we would certainly like our barbells to be heavy. Explode, we certainly want our Takis to explode with flavor, right? All three can have very neutral connotations or even positive connotations. But take a moment and choose what you want to put your neutral connotation next to now. I'm going with heavy. Now, finally, we have positive connotations. For me, that's got to be sugar, right? Sugar to me is a word that's almost always positive, unless you're a health teacher. Please find a place for your other blue star for that other positive connotation. Excellent work. So now let's try it with the whole poem put together. This is called Harlem by Langston Hughes, and it um, inspired or yeah inspired the play A Raisin in the Sun. Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Take a moment to find one neutral word, two positive connotations, and two negative connotations. Please do so now. Excellent work. Now we're going to make this poem into our own. That means that we've got to find those words again. We're going to use our highlighter and we're going to find those words again that are positive first. So let's look up for all our positive words. For me, I found sun to be a positive word, and I liked sweet as another positive word. As negative words, I ended up getting a little bit closer to explode as a negative one, and sags. Hard to come up with a good connotation for sags. For my neutral, and I'm using gray for that, I'm going to go with dry. So now, what can I do to turn this into my very own poem? Well, let's get rid of everything but words with strong connotations and words that seem important to the poem. So I'm going to keep dream, and I'm going to keep deferred, which means put off, but get rid of the question mark. So dream deferred. Does it dry up? I'm going to get rid of this question format and get dry. Get rid of up, like a raisin in the sun. I'm going to get rid of that part and go dry in the sun. I'm going to get rid of fester like a sore, so gross. I'm going to get rid of the running sore, so gross. I'm going to get rid of the stinking, rotting meat, so gross. Crust and sugar over, like a syrupy sweet. Oop, that last one was too much. Crust and sugar over, like a syrupy sweet. I'm going to leave syrupy and sweet in there. And I'm going to leave sags. I'm going to leave heavy. And I'm going to leave explode. So let's reread this poem as it is now. Harlem by Langston Hughes. Dream deferred, dry in the sun, syrupy sweet, sags heavy, explode. So I don't really lose the whole meaning, but obviously, you know, it's not as good as Langston Hughes' original. So what can I do with this other side here? Well, I'm going to make it my own original uh, art to go with it. So what art goes well with this? Well, in my opinion, got to go with an explosion, right? So I'm going to go a little outward explosion like that. Then I'm going to get orange, a little outward explosion like that. Then I'm going to get some yellow, little outward explosion like that. Then I'm going to get some green, an outward explosion like that. And then I'm going to get some purple, an outward explosion like that. In the center, I'm going to write dream. Boom. You can take a moment to make your screen look like mine before you erase everything and make it your own, or go ahead and start your own poem, your blackout poem, right now. Please do so. Good job.